Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Good to be here with you on a beautiful June afternoon. We are on June 11th. Good to see you here. This is really going to be old school content. Old school meaning going to back in the day. If you didn't notice, I just got a short haircut, so it's good to be here with you. 1998, I launched Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated and started my first conference call in 1999, and that was called, back in the day, More Heart Than Talent. More Heart Than Talent was the first brand that I built, and I used to have a 5 o'clock on Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time, live conference call. I later moved that as my coaching career escalated. I moved that call to 7:30 Pacific time, 10:30 Eastern. And for years, from 1999, or actually 2000, from 2000 to 2017, that was one of the staples of my business, my Tuesday night More Heart Than Talent mindset call. And I had exceptional guests on that call. That was a live conference call. It wasn't Zoom. It wasn't difficult to navigate it. I had Dr. Joe Dispenza, John Assaraf, Jim Rohn twice, Mark Victor Hansen multiple times, Susan Sly. I mean, I had Stephen Simon, the movie producer. I had the best of the best on that call. Ron White, world champion of memory, 3 times. And for many years, the focus of that call was on this right here. The psychology of prospecting, the psychology of closing. Paige, you have this in your back office right here. This is the old school CD version of it. See right there, More Heart Than Talent. I don't promote that brand any longer. I now promote Golden Mastermind Seminars. And this 1 o'clock Tuesday call replaced my Thursday, this 1 o'clock Tuesday call replaced my 10:30 Eastern call. Now, back in the day, it was not uncommon to have up to 500 people on that call. And then we loaded it up into Podomatic for years, and it was on my website. And so on those early calls for years, I would cover prospecting. For years, I was called the king of posture. I had lead generation companies that would come to me, and I would create content for them. Cutting Edge Media used to have a cassette of mine that they gave out with every single person that bought leads from myself or Doug Firebaugh. So today's topic is going to be called Prospecting with Posture. So when you are prospecting, posture is how you position yourself in the conversation. In the 90s, I was called the king of posture through a company that I became a 7-figure income earner. I used to do trainings for my company at live events for anywhere up to 6,000 people, and I would teach how to have posture. Posture is the position you have in a conversation. In posture, you're not overpowering the prospect, but you're definitely in your power. And you're able to easily and effortlessly let people go from a non-attached state. You're non-attached to the outcome, and you are looking for qualified buyers. Right now, I coach multiple insurance agents who, in their prospecting, they are buying $30 to $40 to $50 to $60 leads for a product called Final Expense and other insurance products. So in the insurance industry, they still buy leads, and they buy a qualified lead, and it's not uncommon for them to invest anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 a month in leads. Now, most people in network marketing are not willing to do that, not able to do that, because it's not the model. But in insurance, it's a very common situation to buy those type of leads to be in free enterprise business. So leads are a way of life. If you don't have leads, then you don't really have a business. And you want to be able to have ideally qualified leads, and you don't have to purchase leads, but you're going to be your responsibility to create leads from the comfort of your home. So later this afternoon on my desk, I have 3 leads that I will be calling in cracks and breaks of the time. And when you're calling leads or speaking to leads, you want to be speaking to leads that, like I said, qualify for your time. And there are many people who aren't qualified buyers. I do 20-minute conference calls and coaching calls 7 days a week. I've been doing those calls since 1998. I used to offer free 15-minute coaching calls. Now I offer 20-minute coaching calls. And that's where a lot of my business comes from. And these are leads that I create that are organic from my writing style, from my email list, from my text messaging list, from writing content on Facebook, LinkedIn. I just rejoined Sales Navigator on LinkedIn. I just hired one of my new assistants. I just hired him for 3 hours to understand Sales Navigator. Yuritsa, good to see you this afternoon. So Yuritsa is an insurance professional, top-tier insurance professional, a partner of Josh Waxman, and they are top tier in their trainings, and Jared Andre is also one of them. So if you're tuning in here this afternoon, the topic for today's Facebook Live is prospecting with posture. And that posture, once again, it means how you set yourself up to qualify people for your time. Yuritsa, thank you for bringing your team on today's Facebook Live. You are amazing. Thank you for being here. So good to see all of you here. So if you're in Josh Waxman's database, I was Josh's coach back in 2014 when he was 18 years old. I see a lot of his team is on here. Josh hired me at 18 years old in Newark, Delaware with his own cash money at an event on the campus of University of Delaware. There was a young woman there was a young woman who was the host, and she had 122 people for me there on a Saturday. Meryl Yeatsy was her name. She was 21 years old herself. I was her coach, and she had a room full of people, of 122 people, and one of them that hired me was Josh Waxman, who was well on his way to being a self-made millionaire. Also, there was another man in there who went on to be a very successful real estate agent, Francis Mangubutt, who became a self-made millionaire before he was 27 years old. Those two young men hired me that day, and that was March 14th, 2014. Jonathan Mason has joined me. Jonathan is a long-term client of mine. Jonathan, Eddie Arantes, I just got off the phone coaching me. He's going to contact you, my brother. So be looking for a call from Eddie. Topic for today's Facebook Live is called Prospecting with Posture. I was teaching Jonathan Prospecting with Posture back in 2009 when he was a young sales professional, later went on to be a self-made millionaire in the insurance industry. So insurance is an industry that really teaches how to prospect, and how to prospect with posture by qualifying people for your time, by asking a series of questions about the outcome you're seeking to create in a very relaxed energy, in a relaxed presence. The purpose is not to overpower your prospect. The purpose is to have a relaxed conversation, but be aware if this prospect qualifies for your products, services, benefits, features, and most importantly, your most valuable commodity, time. And that comes down to the questions that you ask. In 2008, I produced this audio CD set. See, this is old school. Look at this. This is what it looked like back in the day. So there's the CDs. This is how this all rolled out back in the day. I sold well over 20,000 copies of that CD set and another 30,000 copies of this CD set. These are both 10 CDs. Some of you, I know Jonathan Mason still has those from back in the day. So prospecting is an absolute skill. And if you don't buy into the skill of it, then what happens is you end up avoiding it. And if you're a chronic avoider, procrastinator, yes, Suzanne Morse-Maresca says she also has them. Suzanne, always good to see you on my Facebook Lives. As a matter of fact, in 2018, it was just Monday, that would be 6 years ago, Suzanne, who's on today's call, hired me 6 years ago Monday. So it's somewhat of an anniversary for us. So Suzanne, thank you for being here this afternoon. So Suzanne's been around my training for years. Jonathan Mason's been around my training for years. Jared Andre's been around my training for years. Yuritsa's in her second year of my training. Paige McAllister's on Facebook Live here today, has been on my training for the last 2 years, going into 2 years as well. So I am a prospecting professional. I am very skilled at it. I've been teaching it for years. I've trained for network marketing companies, insurance companies, lead generation companies. I am a very skilled sales professional. The first situation when it comes to mastering the art of asking, the art of prospecting, is to be able to let go of your anxiety about the outcome, let go of being rejected, let go of being abandoned, let go of being gaslighted, ghosted, and all the terms that you've bought into that will keep you from being a self-made millionaire. I'll spell it for you. Sales, S-A-L-E-S, highest paid profession in the world. And where I have coached multiple millionaires are from the insurance industry. The insurance industry teaches prospecting and selling skills, team building skills, how to build a culture skills. Network marketing also teaches some of these skills, but by far the real estate and insurance industry teach some of the best sales skills. And sales is a way of life, the highest paid profession in the world. Buy into it, because your future depends on your ability to be able to prospect, build a culture, be relatable, be accessible, be in a position where you're open to receive, and be able to be an exceptional listener. So if you're right-handed, your left ear is your listening ear because you lean into it. And when you're listening, your objective is to hear what people mean, not just what they say. So when they say, yeah, I'll get back to you, what does that actually mean? Well, here's what it means to me. It means that a large percent of the population are pathological liars. They don't even know it. They're over-obligators. They're givers and servers, and they will tell you what they want, what they think you want to hear. Most of society is not comfortable in letting you know they're not interested. Instead, they will tell you what they think you want to hear. And this is it's your responsibility, your ability to respond, to be able to hear what's meant, not what's said, so you can differentiate between a prospect and a suspect. A prospect is a qualified buyer, and if you're listening, you can tell that they will call you back. You can tell that they will follow up. Right here is a young man who sent me a message today in true humility. He let me know. Now this is rare, but this young man Nick let me know. He goes, "Hey bro, I'm so sorry. I promised to get back with you on June 1st. I ran into a buzzsaw called addiction. I did this, and so I'm speaking to him this afternoon." He got back to me. Most of your prospects do not get back to you. About 1% do. That is called the LOF, the law of the few. And a few people will follow through. But most of the people will tell you, like I said, what you want to hear. And there's 5 main objections that you will hear consistently over the lifespan of your career. Objection number 1 will be money. I'd really like to purchase. I'd really like to buy. I'm sure you can understand. I hope you appreciate. And the one that is frequent, and you'll hear this, so anytime you hear when you ask a closing question, ABC, A always, B closing, ABTC, always be trial closing. When do you trial close? Early and often. How serious are you about an insurance policy? How serious are you about protecting your wealth? How serious are you about purchasing a home in the next 30, 60 days? I mean, these are qualifying questions, trial closing questions. How serious are you about generating an extra stream of income? How serious are you about improving the quality of your health? Key word in the sentence, serious. How committed, how serious. They're interchangeable words. You don't use how interested are you. You're not looking for interested people. You are looking for committed people who are committed to purchase your products, your services, your benefits, your feature, and you're also selling the dream. You are selling the good life. And your posture means you're positioned, you're putting yourself in front of your prospect, letting them know that you're an expert or that you can lead them to an expert, and that's the leverage of the three-way call, or to be able to put someone in front of someone who is a millionaire, someone who does understand the product, service, and benefits. You don't have to be an expert. Your objective is to be skilled at the communication. And that means letting go of your anxiety about the outcome that hasn't happened. And when you step into your posture, that's your power. And your power is consciousness. Your power is your self-esteem. It means you are good enough. You do not have to be a millionaire to prospect a millionaire, but if you come across like you are in poverty consciousness, you're in lack, you're in scarcity, you have blown the opportunity before you get there. When's the best time to prospect a millionaire? Right now, because there's other people in your circle of influence that you can lead them to if you're not comfortable. But once again, you have to become skilled at setting up the sale. Jim Rohn used to be famous for saying, it's not the sale, it's the set of the sale. It's how you set the conversation up, and you're setting the conversation up throughout the conversation so you can ask closing questions. And when you become skilled at this process, you will have an LOA conducive to results. LOA is law of averages. And so the LOF is for the law of the few. The law of averages are for the people who become very skilled at selling. My first sales job at 19 years old was at Time Life Books. I answered an ad in the Rocky Mountain News in Denver, Colorado between basketball seasons. I was a college basketball player back in the day. Yes, at 5'9", I could post up and drop from about 22 feet on a good day. I played 2 years JUCO college, and I spent my summer of my freshman year in Denver, Colorado, and I stumbled into a sales job at Time Life Books in a boiler room, phone room atmosphere, and I found out real quick that I was good at it. And I got moved from the initial cold call room into a different room where I was calling more qualified leads. When I went back to college, I changed my major from psychology and drugs, alcohol, and partying, and I changed my major to radio television, and I specialized in radio and television sales. And once again, I found that I had a niche and a knack for it, and I was very skilled at it. I also found out in waiting tables in 4-star restaurants, as I moved into 5 and 6 stars restaurants, that I had a flair for waiting tables, and I was very skilled at attracting the top customers in multiple joints with my homeboy Michael Garozzo, who went on to be the #1 restaurateur in Kansas City, Missouri, and he's head of the Missouri Restaurant Association. Look him up, Michael Garozzo. Look up Eric Sweeney. He owns Hayward Pitts Barbecue. 2 of my homeboys went on to be multi-millionaire restaurateurs in Kansas City, Missouri. And Charlie Gito, Michael's cousin, owned Charlie Gito's #2 Italian restaurant in St. Louis. So I learned a lot of skills waiting tables. I learned a lot of sales skills selling Yellow Page advertising for 3 years. It was like a PhD in selling. I would call on a gynecologist in one call, a backhoe contractor the next call. I traveled the west coast of California for 3 years selling Yellow Pages for Southwestern Bell from 1989 to 1991. And then I went in full-time in my network marketing career. Amway was my first company. Herbalife was the first company I had success in, and that's where I met the great Jim Rohn, or I actually saw the great Jim Rohn speak. I had a vision that one day I would share the stage with Jim Rohn. 9 years later, that happened. September 30th, 2000, I shared the stage with Jim Rohn on San Vicente Boulevard, on Century Boulevard in Los Angeles, right where La Cienega and San Vicente meet at the LAX airport. I shared the stage with Jim Rohn. Later shared the stage with him on 4 different occasions. And the early sales training I used to listen to was the great Jim Rohn, The Art of Exceptional Living. And he used to say, if you have pennies in your pocket, zero in your bank account, creditors calling, it's time for a new philosophy. He had great sales training back in the day. And my career in network marketing was a 10-year career. Once again, I had a vision of being a millionaire. It didn't happen overnight, but eventually that happened between 1996 and 1997. I learned how to prospect with posture. I learned how to close sales. And most importantly, I learned how to teach it to my teammates. So if you're being taught by a great trainer, there's a possibility that I trained them at one point. And some of you are on today's Facebook Live here. I've trained your mentors, and they learned my content, and then they're putting their own personality plus their own skills and their flair, and you are learning from some of the best, and you want to be able to take your sales skills to the next level. So if you ever spent time with me, you would see how methodical I am in asking the questions in a sequence, how methodical I am at connecting with the prospects, looking for common points of interest where we can form that relationship. You do not have to be friends with people to prospect them. One of the best people I ever prospected, enrolled in my team, was a woman working at a health club, and I had just barely met her. And she was watching me one day play racquetball. Her name was Lisa, and I asked her if she kept her options open for additional streams of income. She said, "Is this network marketing?" I said, "Absolutely." She let me know that she had been through a very, very serious challenge through a series of events that led to being behind 4 months on her car payment and 4 months on her house payment. And she let me know that she was very financially challenged. I asked her if that would keep her from looking at an opportunity that could change the quality of her life. She looked at the opportunity, 22 minutes on a live conference call, found $1,300 the next day, and 2 years later became a $500,000 a year income earner. She was the first person I ever sponsored that achieved multiple six figures, and she was absolutely destitute when I met her. And she did not let that keep her from seizing the opportunity carpe diem. And in prospecting, you don't want to prejudge people. You want to be able to ask them the questions about the outcome. Many people will prejudge someone that's wealthy, or they'll prejudge someone who doesn't have any money. You want to be able to put the information in front of the people and then see if they qualify for your time, your products, your services, your benefits, and your features. When you become skilled at prospecting, you will absolutely cross the bridge from being average to being exceptional. Because once you learn how to prospect, you will be able to stay in business. Once you learn how to stay in business so that you have a for-profit organization, your business is for profit. It's not a non-profit. It's a for-profit business in free enterprise from the comfort of your home or the comfort of your office. Your purpose is to be a 5-figure monthly income earner, minimum, with the possibility of being a 6-figure monthly income earner, a 7-figure income earner in a calendar year. I have coached multiple men and women. Here's a fact. In 2011, in a 5-month period, I had 4 women hire me in a network marketing company, one in June, one in September, or one in June, one in August, and 2 in September. In that time frame, these 4 women, and in the next 4 years, all 4 of them became 7-figure income earners, all in the same company. That could be your story. One was a high school guidance counselor. 2 were bartenders at Jimbo's in Jersey Shore in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. And the 4th one was a stay-at-home mom, the wife of a dentist with 2 children. Those 4 women became 7-figure income earners between 2011 and 2015 while I was coaching them. That could be your story if you are committed to that process. Commitment is paramount. If you're not committed, you're interested. And what do average people make in business? Nothing. What do exceptional people create? Whatever the free market will bear, and that is really up to you. I coach multiple women right now in a direct sales network marketing company who are crushing it. They're making at least $20,000 a month. There are multiple people that I coach in insurance businesses, real estate businesses that are multiple 6- and 7-figure income earners. This is direct sales, the highest paid profession in the world. Real estate, insurance, network marketing, direct sales, coaching, influencing, affluencing, YouTube, internet marketing, any other type of selling. Sales is the highest paid profession in the world. Buy into it. Prospect with posture. That means your attitude is that you are becoming your best self one day at a time, asking the questions in the sequence, being comfortable with the process, letting go of your prospects easily and effortlessly, not being attached to the outcome, not being attached to someone, and not romancing someone, and letting people go easily and effortlessly, attracting to your reality quality, like-minded success seekers, prospects, team builders, people who see the value of your products, services, benefits, and features. If you're on today's Facebook Live and you have not ever experienced a free 20-minute call with me, I offer 20-minute calls for people who have considered hiring me to be their coach. So in that 20 minutes, I'll be able to give you some immediate insight, some wisdom, and some guidance on how you can let go. I specialize in the skill of letting go, the separation of letting go of the feelings attached to the events that shape them, so that you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. So I've been teaching the mechanism of letting go for the last 26 years. I've coached 150,000 hours. I've coached 15,000 clients. I've spoken in 47 states, 4 continents, and will continue to be coaching for the next 10 years. So if you'd like a one-on-one 20-minute coaching session, send me a Facebook message or go to my website, goldenmastermind.com, and it'll say request 20-minute call. Request that call, fill out the survey, and I'll get back to you within 24 hours. I'm going to go ahead and hit the record button. This content will be available for replay. Thank you very much for being here. You have a great afternoon.